State and federal authorities are worried that a warm-up this week could cause widespread flooding to get even worse from all that snow up in the Sierra. Parts of the Sierra have a snowpack that's 320% of average. Some of the snow has already started to melt, and the runoff is adding to flood damage in areas all across the state. Some waterways, like the once drained Tulare Lake in Kings County, are rising and threatening homes and farms nearby. The governor's Office of Emergency Services says it knows what's at stake and the magnitude of what could happen over the next few months.
And doing everything we can to put in advanced defensive measures to divert flood flows, again, from people and communities.
And now as we transition into what could be a very, very challenging snow melt.
Officials say there are no flood risks in the Bay Area right now, but the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for tomorrow morning through next Tuesday for the Merced River in Yosemite National Park. That is forecast to exceed its 10-foot flood stage by up to 2 feet by this weekend.
And we are tracking the conditions there at Yosemite. Take a look now at this live view of Yosemite Falls. As you can see here, it's just roaring now, all due to that snow melt. But as spectacular as the park's iconic waterfalls, streams, and rivers are right now, there are concerns that the situation there in the park may turn treacherous. Tony McDaniel is with the Yosemite Mariposa County Tourism Bureau. Thank you so much for being here, Tony. We mentioned the concerns surrounding potential flooding. What are you there at the park expecting, and what areas of the park do you believe will be most affected?
Yeah, thanks for having me on today. Appreciate the chance to talk. There is some projected flooding in Yosemite Valley for this weekend. About half of Yosemite Valley, the Eastern Valley, is going to close this weekend due to flooding. But there will still be quite a bit of open areas in the park, as well as outside of the park in Mariposa County for people to recreate. Mariposa Grove of Giant Sequoias will still be open, as well as the Wawona area, and outside of Yosemite National Park in Mariposa County, we don't really have any concerns over flooding. So there's still plenty of things for people to do.
Okay, as we mentioned, just part of Yosemite National Park affected by this. The spring weather, though, as we mentioned, quickly melting the snowpack, which is twice as deep as usual. I want to show people at home now what things look like at the park today. We've got fast-moving rivers and streams. Can you recall an April like this?
I've been here for 4 years, so this is the first April I've experienced like this. I mean, the snow we had this off season was truly incredible that we received this winter. All the facts are out there, and you all covered it. The waterfalls are incredible. It is true to say that, but the risks that are coming along with flooding is obviously something that we're all concerned about. Safety is the #1 priority for everyone here locally, for visitors and locals alike. It is a pretty incredible time in Yosemite right now, and we're looking forward to the flooding receding so that we can get back to normal as far as the tourism economy goes here.
Yeah, of course. As we mentioned, the park, at least part of the park, set to close this Friday. What about those people with reservations?
As far as reservations inside the park, if you have a reservation in one of those East Valley areas, they are being canceled for this weekend and until the park is going to reopen, hopefully next Wednesday. Outside of the park and outside of the areas where Yosemite Valley is impacted, in areas like Wawona, Fish Camp, the town of Mariposa, it's absolutely acceptable to still have your reservation, come and recreate. There's plenty to do this weekend around the area. And yeah, as far as that goes, there's plenty for people to do still.
Yeah, so don't necessarily let the flooding risk deter you from heading up. What does this massive, though, snow melt mean for the park beyond this weekend?
Well, I work for the Tourism Bureau outside of Yosemite, so I can't speak for the park specifically. What I can say is, as far as tourism goes and visitation, the waterfalls in Yosemite are at a point that we've never seen them, at least in the last several decades. If people always want to come see the waterfalls in Yosemite, and this is an incredible year to do so, but of course, safety needs to be everyone's #1 priority. Be sure if you're planning on coming this spring, do your research in advance. Take a look at websites like Yosemite.com, like the Yosemite National Park Service website, and know what the closures and risks as well as road conditions are before coming so that you can be properly prepared for your visit and come and enjoy areas like Mariposa County and Yosemite National Park. We need people to come and visit our economy is based almost solely on tourism here. About 50% of people in Mariposa County are employed in tourism. So we really need people to come visit. It is our lifeblood here. We love our hospitality side of things, and we're excited for people to come visit.
Yeah, it certainly is. You're also getting ready for the peak visiting season. May to October, of course, is when a majority of people, about 75% of the park's annual visitors, make the trip. Obviously, you know, we don't want these flooding concerns to linger, because that could really hurt the bottom line there.
Yeah, absolutely. Our tourist season is really focused on that area between Labor Day and Memorial Day. And flooding concerns, as the National Park Service has reported, could continue into June. We're going to continue to monitor that. As the weather gets warmer, that high country snow will continue to melt. And but we're hoping for these waters to recede quickly and for people to be able to come and recreate, because, yeah, like I was saying, tourism is everything for us here. We're entering our busy season. We just had a pretty lengthy closure of the national park in February and into March. We're still recovering from that. So we're really hoping for an unencumbered season this coming year. There will be no reservation requirements for Yosemite National Park. Our county here in Mariposa is definitely looking forward to what we're hoping is going to be a safe season in Yosemite National Park.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone is hoping. Tony, really appreciate your time this afternoon. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Bill.